to this computer. Whoa. All right. It is reviews day time, everybody. Awestruck Comics Podcast. It is Scotty Pope on Instagram. You are Rob Messick 76 on X.
Correct. And Maximum
And
Supreme on X.
X.
And
X.
Awestruck Comics, Gmail, and Awestruck Comics on Facebook.
And on TikTok, we are
Not.
not on TikTok right now. And there is no TikTok right now, but there may be TikTok tomorrow. I don't know.
I think
Who
some people are
knows?
back. In the end, whatever. Those are people 1/3 of our age. So we're good.
We can't figure it out. We'll have our daughters explain it to us. I don't know. Can't figure it out. But yes, so big reviews. Pretty good week. Pretty big size of week. Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Doing it live. Here we go. All right. Again, very solid. Practically silent. Half silent issue. I meant to count how many pages this was. If this was 28, no words. No words.
Yeah.
Batman and
This
Robin
went
year
quick.
one, number 4 from DC Comics. DC Comics.
All right.
Should this be a larger logo? Again, I'm so. What was it 2 weeks ago? Was it Wolverine? Was it the Wolverine like?
I forget which
It
one.
was the Capullo. It was like and it was so small. I think it was Deadpool Wolverine's Capullo's alternate cover, and I
Okay.
was like, why isn't the logo so much bigger? So I just am like logo centric. That Batman logo by itself feels a lot like Batman '89 logo.
Eh, well, how big is it supposed to be like the year one logo, right? The original Batman year one
Yeah,
logo. So
yeah.
how big was that? Did that go across the top? What would you have like preferred? Do you want it to be bigger and
Always
the
wanted
DC
bigger.
logo a little closer to the side? Put the DC logo underneath the wing, maybe? I don't know. I
I
understand what you're
think
saying.
Yeah,
It's
I think
fine.
it's like well, they're going this. They're not doing a corner box, right? They're doing almost like the ribbon, right? It's like first prize. It's like
Yeah.
it looks like it's a fair. It's a 4-H festival, and DC
World's
Robin year
Fair.
one
World's Fair Comics.
World's Fair Comics.
That was the first world's finest, technically speaking.
Do you think so? Who do we say colored Firepower? So on Firepower, Chris Somney, Firepower, that was probably 3 or 4 years, and that was Matt Wilson. Does that sound right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what we
This
said.
is Matthias Lopez.
Yep.
So again, I like all the big lettering here. Whoever's formatting this, if this is I don't know, Andrew Marino, whoever's working on this, whether it's Clayton Calls in the layout, I do. Oh, look at that! Whoa,
With,
whoa!
yeah, letterist with Chris Samney.
I'm not
So,
sure if that's been done. I don't know. On chapter 1, 2, 3, I mentioned it. You know what? This is what I'm going to say. This is what's happening right now. All right, I'm going to say this is the Awestruck effect. Okay, there's a guy I watch on the YouTubes called YMS. Your movie sucks, and he swears because he does a lot of trailer reviews that people watch his trailer reviews and he bitches about things not being in 4K or high res. So I'm going to say I want the credit for if there's lettering and it's not done by, not that Clayton Cowles couldn't do it, but Chris Omni's drawing a lot of lettering in. So I'm going to say the awestruck effect of this
right.
is completely fabricated, by the way, that I helped this happen. So you're welcome. You're welcome,
Yes,
Chris
you put
Omni.
it out into
The ether.
the ether.
Ether.
That's fine.
So I'm saying that it happened. Okay. All right. This is page 2. I almost did again, this was almost like Batman Dark Patterns from last week. Almost the entire issue was like, here, page. But
Right.
I
No,
feel like
if you love something, you love something.
his feathering here, it's like a little more Franco Villa than normal, but I don't know, just all of it just like works. So
It's a darkened area. So yeah, that's fine. Franco Villa was almost exclusively works in dark noir-esque stories.
Batman's mean. So listen, most of the Batman year one, Batman Robin, Dick Grayson year run is kind of it's been the same. Essentially, it's that Robin does something reckless and Batman's got to yell at him. So this is kind of the same, and that's okay because again, it's all just learning,
Right.
right?
Batman does not want Robin to risk his life.
Right. So
Batman does not mind risking his own life,
yeah.
but he doesn't want other people to risk their lives.
But I thought the button on this was actually really funny. So basically, the end of last issue, he saves Robin, then this like rope thing, almost almost not rebar per se, but like that's also frightening to me, like a ripcord or a rope or something that's going to pull
Yeah,
you
like that. It's
underwater.
like a steel cable.
No, no good. Any steel, I do not agree. So he goes underwater. He's basically stuck almost like under a container or something, right? Oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah.
scary. So Robin's going down and he has his flashlight relevant. So all the light, he's the only light source that's there. Batman basically gets himself out. All right. And then so Robin's trying to help him even further. And he waves him away, tells him get out of there. Batman comes up, and then I didn't put the button. Um, he yells at him. I forgot to put the page in there, but he yells at him, and he's like, "But thanks for the flashlight," or something like that. He's like, "I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
have, you know." Robin was trying to say like, "You couldn't have done that without me." He's like, "Yeah, I could have. I've been doing this a lot longer. Get out of here, scram, kid." So
Go away, kid. You bother me.
to the point where he's shelving him basically the balance of the issue. He puts him
Right.
on, which is fine because this is gonna be 12. This is four. This is gonna be 12 total. Does that sound right?
Is it?
I think it's 12.
Wow. I thought it was going to be six, but good.
No way. Give me 12. Maybe it is six, and I'm making it 12.
I don't know.
Uh,
12 would enact a year one
mm,
or 1 year, but that's fine. Um, Look at this. There's just every once in a while, I just got to stop and go. This is a lot of drawing.
mm.
Trees, multiple cars, buildings, steps, ornate pottery. You know,
Bag. Straps on bag. Side pocket on
bushes,
bag.
bushes that have been designed. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
so much totally unnecessary. But he wants to draw it, and you know what? We'll appreciate it when he does.
Oh, I'm actually going to put up a. I'll put up a drawing of a Paul Smith Clea. So when I'm looking at her hair here, like the hair that's kind of maybe I'll put in the Ohatmu because the Ohatmu Clea has when Paul Smith did probably only 15 issues if that of Doctor Strange, but very impactful. Him and Marshall Rogers did issues kind of back and forth, or Michael Gold, Marshall Rogers, uh, and Paul Smith. But Paul Smith at that time, I felt like had these. It almost looked like they were like add-ons, right? But her hair is super chunky, kind of like that Paul Smith there. Great acting. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot. There's a lot. Perspective, really good. Actually, every time anyone comes there and it's like that fair hair, I'm always thinking that it's like Vicky Vale. I know it's not Vicky Vale,
Right.
but really
She
good. But
likes Batman, Batman.
we're gonna put in the prints again. I like Batman. Um, but basically, yes, they have to basically cover that they were out all night essentially. So,
Yeah.
and then he already got dressed, and then and then Alfred's like, you need to get changed. So Harry's been spending nights. So good time. So basically, who comes is a
How you
social
spending your
services.
nights?
That's the real villain. Social services is the real villain of
No,
the
the real
issue.
villain is if they take away social services.
Oh, I see.
I see.
Uh,
Um,
Look at that.
okay, so you jump right to the after the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
didn't want
good.
to have,
Look at
I
that.
just, we're moving it along. Look at that.
Move right along.
We're moving it
Footloose
along.
and fancy free. Okay, so yeah, that's a cool image. You always love when the cape, when you see the bat symbol somewhere, it's always awesome. Whether it's in the moon, in a shadow, the cape. This is Batman can't walk around with a cape like this. We all know that. But like when he's flying or something or jumping, it's cool. It's the comic book cape effect, the CCE.
Well, I guess this is similar to, because what in year one, he had he had like a glider almost. This is kind of like an evolved glider. Well, it
Right, it's
doesn't
the
really
cape.
show. It's like a parachute. It's like almost like it's pulling a
Yeah, I see
parachute
it.
here. Hey man, whatever they want to do. I mean, to me, like this is probably the closest to kind of a combination of Mazzucchelli and like this kind of reminds me of Batman the Animated Series because they're on a rooftop and it's
That's a
guns on
good
a
mixture.
rooftop. But yeah, I really really like Matthias
What's funny?
Lopez's coloring through though.
It's unintentional, I guess, but the night sky is gray and then the bat symbol, so it's like, his costume almost.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that looks exactly. Yeah, I know you're right. It's probably not intentional, but it doesn't hurt. It's not hurting. It's not hurting at all.
Also, the way the dust swirls up, that he went and the thing pops out, blew up dust like in the way the dust probably would fly.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's a smart move.
yeah. Overall, just this was still An 8.5, 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, just super, super solid. Be nice to have a good collection of this, a nice good read. I guess that's the tough part, man. It used to be so like indelible and like what you would have. I guess if you would have, because I already have, of course, I have the complete Frank Miller Batman. It wouldn't be bad to get. I want to say they actually collected Robin year one and Batgirl year one, which is all like Javier Pulido, Marcus Martin. That wouldn't be bad.
You know what they should
Then
do?
this.
If I had a 12 issue Batman run or something, I want to collect it in a leather bound edition that looks just like the Dark Knight one from the late 80s. You know,
Mm.
the what was in bookstores? Like
What
that would
the
be
is that the
that,
Frank Miller Batman one you talking
yeah, the
about?
Frank
Or
Miller Batman one.
yeah.
How awesome would that be? To, like someone should like emulate that. Like that puffy leather cover, you know?
I never got. I know that DeLuca got one. He bought one on eBay really cheap. He
They're
bought it.
yeah,
He bought
they're not worth much. There's a lot of them.
no. He bought the Joker one, the stack deck. See, I already have my Joker, which stack deck, which was as an expanded Greatest Joker Stories Never Told.
Great, great.
So, which was a purple leather. But yeah, I
Yes.
always thought about getting that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a couple of people that do binding, and it wouldn't be hard to do that. I thought about doing that with my ROMs and doing like a ROMnibus, but now there are ROMnibuses, and the recoloring is pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, it's tough. It's tough. Like on my travails yesterday, I'll show you. I did some pictures of stuff that I have printed because I've nothing that I love more than having an issue here, a trade, and then like another hardcover and a deluxe edition. I like to have things about 4 or 5 times. That's good for me. So,
I get it.
but overall, really solid. Not so much to talk about. We talk about this quite a bit, but
Yeah,
yeah, really
we don't
good.
have to explain every page. I'm glad you brought this advertisement.
This confuses me. This is
It does.
confusing to me.
This is
Why is this confusing you?
it's all in, but it's a lot of second generation heroes. Like none of these, like other than like Aquaman, it's Wonder Woman kid, Superman's kid, Batgirl, Supergirl,
Hmm.
uh, whatever Jason Todd's called himself this month.
Aquaman's wrong. Orion is I don't know if Orion's right. So I'm not sure if that's the new Orion costume. That is the newer Mr. Miracle costume. There's Floyd Lawton in there. That's the Jim Lee design. That's the wrong Blue Beetle potentially. No, that's the newer Blue Beetle. That's the cowboy question. Okay.
Also, why does Jonathan Kent look like a full blown adult?
I thought it was okay. I was going to say that when I first saw this, when I looked at it, I go, oh, is that Superman's new costume? Why doesn't he have a new costume? I understand he doesn't. I understand why he doesn't. But if you, I first saw it, yeah, it was Superman. Also, Aquaman doesn't have a beard right now. That's not Aquaman. Like when this was drawn, should have been enough. That's the new Challengers of the Unknown. Did you read the first issue of that? I haven't read that. I think I just said
Yeah,
DC.
yeah, it was okay.
Um, I'm also really confused at the previews that they're having. The previews that they're having, I feel like they're going backwards. Because I think in some of the issues they have, like last week, they had like Challengers, but Challengers 2 is coming out or already out. Challengers of the
Right.
Unknown. And then they had like issue one. And then this week they had the Adam Project. Adam Project came out 2 weeks ago or last week. Like their previews are like not previews. They're like, hey, this is already out. You want to go check it out over there?
Yeah, yeah, no. Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I did notice that.
They're not previews. But that's Trinity, right?
Yeah, that's Trinity.
That's the right Jade costume. Metamorpho. That I guess is just a regular costume. I don't know. I couldn't really tell what this was, you know? So that's I don't know. Again, the all in and absolute are different,
Hmm.
technically. But everyone here is mostly the all in costumes, except for like I don't know, a couple of them. I'm not sure. I don't know. Just weird. And
Yeah.
why is Deadshot there? It's pretty palm. I'm just saying.
Why is Black Lightning there? Is he coming to prominence in something? I don't know.
I think they're using them quite a bit more in Justice League Unlimited. I think that I don't know. But again, yeah, curious. I don't know. And regular Superman is not here at all.
Right. Neither is regular Batman. None of the regulars. None of the Justice League 7 are there, correct?
Hmm.
Aquaman, but he's wrong. I don't know.
I guess
Peculiar.
you could put a Jackson. Yeah, and Aquaman was a little annoying. They were like, because they talk about Tempest, right? But they had the new Aqualad essentially in there. They had Jackson in there. I don't know if I think they mentioned Tempest, but I don't think they use them. So I don't know. but it was Fico Ossio, really solid. It's a good house. I'm happy that it wasn't Dan Moore again. I thought it was more exciting. Like I feel like the Dan Moore stuff is running flatter and flatter the more I see it. So
Hmm.
there it is. I zoomed in on it. See, I cared about it. But oh, and this is what I thought too. This felt like the way we looked at Ryan Brownie's inking last week. Using some screens. So that's a bit of Dan Moore using the screens, digital screens. But yeah, but you're right. Batgirl's it's all ratty, just good, not as clean. I think Dan Mora can't get dirty sometimes. I think it's no good. I think it's no good. I forgot to put this in earlier in the week because it was delayed a week and it wasn't on the Fresh Comics shipping list. Um, I was baffled by this, and I know that you said you figured I probably read it because again, we just read 10 solid issues of action. I feel like with
12.
that, well, yeah,
12 solid weekly issues of action.
was that 12? 12?
Yeah, I think so. 3 months.
The
Is
and they
that a new branding? Superman
Yeah,
Superstars?
I think so. I don't remember. I think feel like it was on the inside before when they had the Gail Simone, Jason Aaron kind of started this run. To me, John Ridley, and we do the other side of the DC universe, which
Right.
I only got through one issue of. I thought it was really I thought it was just a lot of words and preachy and just I didn't care. Um,
Again, it's a book you got to read in the right mood. Um, but Ridley hasn't really done anything to like super impress me, I don't think. Ridley,
no,
is he the one that co-wrote 12 Years a Slave?
yes, hmm
Okay. And the other guy who wrote that with him was John McLaughlin, who wrote like 6 or 7 issues of Youngblood for Liefeld.
yes, McLaughlin, yes,
Yeah.
correct. Um, I wish this is Gleb Melnikov cover. I wish Gleb Melnikov did the
It's
interior.
a good cover.
I
I
I
like this cover.
I don't love this, and I feel like I like Iniki Miranda in on other things. Okay, um, this was kind of a mixed bag for me. Yeah, I just kind of zoomed in on who did what, right?
That's fine.
But this was one of the variants. Whoa, so it's weird. The two variants that they had, right, are different. Like I guess different era. So that's Kenneth
Is that
Rocafort
right?
and Tom Grummett. You get the classic Tom Grummett. So
Yes.
just weird. I don't know. It's like they're not related to the story. They're not necessarily like that spectacular of covers there. But I don't like this guy Superman. I don't like the. I don't know. I'm having trouble with interpretations of Superman. I feel.
Yeah. Like this is just a straight up 100% or the costume that we knew. It looks a little weird like early Scott McDaniel, like before he discovered his
Hmm.
style.
Yeah.
It's a weird, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes I wasn't sure like some of the story beats.
I don't know. I mean, do we think Superman's possessed here? That doesn't really, because they're like, what's he doing? He's just kind of going. It seemed, I don't know. I couldn't really tell what's going on in this. And then
Also,
what's,
so Superman's trying to save people. He misses someone, okay? I guess someone dies.
mm,
Um, but didn't he just like I don't think Superman misses people that
is
often.
that rebar?
You love it. Like, did this person die before Superman got there, or did he die while Superman was doing other
I don't
things?
know. They don't tell you anything. They're
No.
not
In
telling you anything.
Jason Aaron's run, Superman is trying to save people. Like people are trying to kill themselves on a regular basis, and Superman saves them all.
Right.
During that awesome Jason Aaron Bizarro storyline.
Yeah, it's 3 issues. Three very effective issues.
I don't know. I just don't see like I don't know. I didn't really particularly like this issue.
No, I was pretty rough with it. Now the confusing part was this. So I was to hear, and I'm trying to remember what Major Disaster is, and then it's so I did take a pause. So on this week's reviews day, I kind of take pauses as I'm reading. I'm reading and going like, because I'm editing a lot and I'm in a lot of the stories, and then I know we reference them later on after the show's over. I'll go back, watch it, and go, oh, well, let me insert this or insert that. Now I feel like I'm almost doing it on the show as we go because here I'm just like, Action Comics 783. Wait a second, I'm on what issue now? Like I'm on thousand something. Like what?
Yeah, yeah.
So I tried to figure out when that was, right? So this is 2019. It's 5 years ago, 6 years ago, almost. Um, and I don't remember this issue like at all. This is not one of the prominent Joe Kelly issues, which I thought was
That
really
that
weird.
also wasn't 2019. That's like 10 years ago or more. No, this is pre 52, so this is probably 2000 and
I don't know. I think
something.
that 2001. Look,
Yeah, 2001.
So DC app has this wrong.
This is a 23-year-old.
Oh, that's you know what? That's weird. That's bad because they're pretty good here. Oh wow.
Maybe that's when it was released digitally.
Yeah, that's probably right. But like typically they fixed that. So yeah, they probably didn't have all these up and they started adding more and more and more in.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering, like, this was what's on the digital. I would think that they would have the UPC here, but they don't, and that's okay. I like that it's not,
No, I prefer no UPC. True, unless it's got corner box art.
right?
See,
But this is
The Marvel books in the 90s and 80s had original art given to the artist with a box for the UPC, and a lot of artists would like sketch things, which we love. Mark and I love. We love that.
yeah,
But
we want to do a corner
DC,
box episode,
I guess by this point they would just add the UPC on it digitally. In fact, you probably had to.
right, right, right.
So, so yeah,
Yeah,
so they could take it off just as easy.
it's a Kano cover.
Kano.
But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So this isn't. So this is 24 years ago, 23 and change.
Right.
23 of a non-spectacular, memorable story of this kind of strange looking, again, weird Superman portrayal here. This is 20. I probably didn't like this 24 years ago, 23 years ago, right? This was okay. I kind of skimmed this
Oh my
story.
God,
Again,
Mark, this issue probably came out right around 9/11.
yeah.
This has a November cover date, which means it came out in September of 2001.
Hmm.
Ugh, rough, dude.
I don't know,
Oh
man.
my God, and he fights a guy named Major Disaster destroying buildings.
Yeah,
Dude, this
yeah,
probably came out the week before 9/11. Because if it had come out afterwards, everyone would have been up in arms.
yeah. I'm trying. Something did come out. There was a Superman book that came out like kind of close to 9/11, and there was something that
Yeah, it was that
happened.
Jeff Loeb's Superman. I think they showed the LexCorp buildings, which are two L's,
Right.
and they got destroyed or at least damaged.
Ay, ay, ay. Not funny. Not funny. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. So yeah, he's fighting and so I don't know. So this is a character that's kind of reforming here, you know,
Right.
but because everyone else and they do and when we go back to let's go back to the new book, right? Oh yeah, so I did place it. You're right. Yeah, so this is right before last. This is 23 years. That's what you're right. Okay. So it's not 5, 6 years ago. Wow. Yeah. And Duncan Rouleau was one of the main artists there because it was a fill-in. So Brendan Badow was a fill-in. Okay. Weird.
Yeah.
Also, these have been the same, unfortunately. So if I'm reading a DC book and I go to the next book,
This, if
whatever
you like
algorithm,
Superman, you love these books that
no,
like
you won't.
they don't go hand in hand.
None of those books do. Right, exactly. So like
I mean,
whatever
yes, these are
algorithm
books.
that they had there,
Yeah.
you can put well, I guess if you're in the Action Comics Joe Kelly stuff, right? Yeah, I would probably put, maybe that same era stuff right there. Joe Kelly had
Joe Kelly,
who was
Justice
the Joe
League.
Justice League Elite,
You may like, yeah, the Elite. True, spun right out of the 10 issues before, right? 775.
775, yeah.
It's got a good title too. I forget what the title of the issue is.
Whatever happened to something. I think they did whatever happened to.
It's a Alan Moore style,
Yeah, you
both
love it.
issue and yeah, I do.
You love it.
Joe Kelly's best issue.
So
Does
even
the
here, you have three different like Clark heads, kinda. You know what I mean? Like four different Clark heads. I don't know.
going heavy on the chin, that's for sure.
Yeah. Jay Leno. Like,
Hey, I'm Superman.
oh yeah, and I zoomed in here because I was like, mm, he should look up. He should be looking at Mikhail Janin. If you're going to use those backgrounds, man, you got to muddy them up a little bit more. Just a little too clean for me. That's just a filter down. I know what you're doing, pal. I know what you're doing. You could do better than that. Do better. Everyone work a little harder on this.
Right.
All right. I didn't like any of this. This didn't make any sense. I don't want to. I don't know. I hate it. Too big. I don't know. I hated this issue. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I can do this story. And now, here's the problem. You're about to introduce a third in the news. We just talked about this. See last episode. There's a new. I feel that, and our original idea was Dan Slott was going to take over Action, right? Because Action doesn't really have a team.
Correct.
So now you're still going to have these whatever stories.
Legends of the Dark Knight style Superman book. Every 3 or 4 issues, a new team.
You should have what was the Superman book? Superman Classified or Superman what was
Yeah, I was right with
yeah,
the Tim
so
Sale and Will Sportaccio and all these different teams come on.
yeah, you need the
Um, Mark, guess
Legends
what?
of the Man of Steel.
Those books got canceled.
Hmm.
People don't want that.
That's what this book is, though. This book, because this book takes place in the beginning, it says it takes place before Absolute Power. And what we talked about previously on the news and what we've been talking about is that books that don't matter don't sell. They sell less.
Yes,
The Wolverine Revenge book is selling less for everyone. It's got to be much more expensive, excuse me, than Saladin Alamed and Martin Kokolo, right? They're not
yes,
getting the same page rates as Jonathan Hickman,
no. And you know what?
Greg
Absolute
Capullo.
Wolverine will sell better than Wolverine Revenge. You got
Yeah,
Capullo and
we'll get
Hickman,
to that.
two
Mhm.
two A.
That's a
You're
better
talking,
Wolverine book all around
yeah,
by times 10.
yeah. So we'll don't
Times
talk
10.
about that. So Action Comics, it's funny. I didn't think you were even going to have this book on the list because it was just kind of a letdown after what we've been through the past couple months. Because even before Mark Waid came on, we got the Jason Aaron story, which was great. We got the Gail Simone story, which is very
Just fine.
reminiscent. It was fine. No, it looked great. It was Eddie Barrows, so it looked good.
Hmm.
It was reminiscent of the Muhammad Ali fight in a strange way. It was
Hmm.
fine. It was a weird story. Like I guess he was working at a newsroom. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Like, is it out of continuity or just a weird like this happened at some point? Maybe.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, I don't know. They could feel a little bit, and I don't know. I just feel like this. If you're gonna do this with Action Comics, you might as well give me like a small backup or something. I don't know. Like again, what we just had was kind of perfect. Make a bet. Listen, there's enough super characters right now that you can have a backup of some sort. Like actually, to be honest with you, now I'm thinking about this. I miss a Supergirl backup. If I didn't like, and I only didn't like maybe one or two issues, not even didn't like that I wasn't that happy with. This I was unhappy the entire time. I didn't feel like any characterization was correct. I still don't know why Superman was mad. Did someone die? Don't know. Rebar. I can't really tell.
is
He get hurt.
Superman
He gets hurt
Beyond
here.
gonna have a backup story? Because I noticed the price tag was $5.99, which is a little.
Uh,
I think it was $5.99 or
the
$4.99. I
Dan
forget.
slot
Yeah, the Dan Slott one,
unlimited.
Superman Unlimited. What?
Terrible.
Yeah, terrible
You
name.
can't say Beyond because Beyond is going to be
Did I say
Terry
Beyond?
McGinnis. Yeah, you said Beyond. It's
We
okay.
got a Superman Beyond comic at one point.
Yes, which was good. Which
Yeah, it
was
was.
good.
It was good because
And
that was
that was
Jurgens.
right. It was Jurgens and did Porter do some of that stuff too?
I think so.
Porter was doing a lot of
Where's
that future stuff.
where's Porter
3001.
at, dude? Where's Porter? Dude, if he drew this, oh my God, what if Porter was drawing this book?
Do it.
And if you're and Mark,
Yeah.
if you're going to do Superman stuff, not in continuity, I think Grant Morrison has a story that he could probably do with Frank Quitely. He's got other stories in general. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have a Superman story, just ask DC and they'll put it in Action Comics, the most important comic book of all time.
I think the whole point of this superstars thing, like this, Aniki Miranda is not a superstar. No offense. It's probably, a C plus B minus B, BB minus. When you do Ragman, does that sound right?
Yeah.
The Ragman series a couple years, and that was because that was its own like separate little thing. That wasn't made. God, who wrote that? That was pretty good actually. That Ragman book was pretty good. And again, I think this artist is very talented. It's just not doesn't fit here. That's all. It's kind of like Mike Perkins last week when he did the Adam Project. I'm like, I don't think he's viable enough that he can sell enough of something else. Like, we know that Swamp Thing got a little bit more of a leg because of the atmosphere, but I don't really know if Mike Perkins should be drawing a book with three Adams, right? Like Adam, Captain
Right.
Adam. I don't know. So, all
Well,
right, here we go.
we've talked enough about a book we don't like.
Right, here we go. This is you. This has been in two issues been super super enjoyable. New Gods is hard. It's hard. First
Yeah.
off, this feels like a Mike Del Mundo. This is not read. I think I put the credits in later. Here we go. It's Christian Ward. Very much Awestruck approved. Every week we talk about Christian Ward. Christian Ward
Yeah.
Awestruck approved. That's why. And again, this design of
Orion or the or
Orion is better. It's okay. So I'm thinking of the ad like a couple slides ago. Yeah, it's a little bit different. So that in the ad is the old who did the most recent Aaron Cooter. That's the Aaron Cooter costume that was done. This costume is a little bit different. The helmet's different. So the helmet on that couple slides back is not correct. So I don't know who that is. But they don't really change. They don't modify this too much as far as that. So this issue, oh yeah, then there was a Simonson, and again, Simonson doesn't have to make the changes to the outfits. It's Simonson, fine. You're gonna do Parademons, you're gonna do Mr. Miracle, and you're gonna do Orion. So you don't have to make any changes. Okay, no problem. So I feel that the format of this book essentially is you're going to have someone. I'm trying to remember who did the first issue, but there was a prologue in the first issue. It was 4 or 5 pages. Same thing here. This was, I think, 4 pages, 5 pages. Jesse Lonergan is mainly a independent artist, but love this. Love this is great. This feels almost the same energy as the Wes Craig art that he was doing in the DC All In special, which was better than the main story of Daniel St. Pierre. But this I loved it, and I just kind of zoomed in on each piece. This felt a lot like Prophet to me. Felt like
Yeah, that
the
Brandon
Brandon
Graham
Graham
era.
Prophet. Yeah. So, but I love Forager right here. That's fantastic. Uh, Mantis and that. So you just have pretty much everyone in here, right? You have the Furies, Granny Goodness. I forget what these characters are called here, almost like the Sea Devils, and then Light Ray. And then you go right into Evan Cagle art, which is I don't understand. He's doing a lot of. I mean, again, we talked about and when we talked about Somni, there's a lot of drawing here, and I think this is a little easier. This is a lot of texture stuff. I imagine some of this stuff has to be digital, right? But you got some thin line stuff here. But good baby draw, right? That's like a Scotty Young baby,
Yeah.
right?
No, it's good
But
to have a good baby
yeah,
instead of it looking like a compressed adult human.
yeah. And then again, the color. This is just top notch. Every single bit of this is great. The letter, every single piece of this. Evan, again, I told you about Evan Cagle. Look at that.
Mm.
Just really, really great. Just and then to have that difference again, all these. It almost looks like a tapestry. Day two. Look at that. Look at that, dude.
No, I love that. His
Holy
his his
mackerel.
machine turned into like some weird light bike.
Yeah, that's so fun. Super fun.
I
And
love it. I love this page here.
yeah,
This
so
is an
you have
incredible page.
Big Barda holding the baby because again, technically her scale should be bigger, right?
Yeah.
Um, but then you also have, which was done in the I put it here, right? So are we going to have every character going to have just a title? So in the background here, you have Big Barda standing there, a big reveal of Big Barda in costume, but you have the logo drawing of Big Barda behind her. And then I flash back to issue one where you have Orion like with the big Orion where they put people in there.
It's funny because in the Orion page, he's holding someone up by their neck. And the Big Barda page, she's holding someone up by their neck.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Differently, but
It's a theme.
it is. Good
You
drawing
got
of Big Barda. Like,
thick Barda.
that's a thick girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just a lot. There's just a lot. Okay. Okay. So I put in this guy, right?
Right.
I wasn't sure what I'm looking at. First off, this here, that looked a lot like a J. Scott Campbell, like Danger Girl, like the guy she like that type of like caricature face.
Hmm.
So I thought that was interesting. Because that's Maxwell Lord.
Correct.
And then so I couldn't really say, but they say Seraphin. I knew the name, but I couldn't really place it, and that is this guy. That guy right there. So one
Gotcha.
of the Forever people.
Forever.
Yeah. And then just kind of winding down. Also, I zoomed in a little bit here. This is really creepy. That's a very super creepy Desaad. But everyone is in this. So you have Mantis almost like decaying. Um, you have Metron. That Metron costume looks a little bit different, slightly redesigned, but that's okay. The only thing that's confusing is what was I looking at? Oh, when I was at the show yesterday, I got the Future State Superman books, the two Superman, the Superman's Our Worlds, like the when he's on the slave planet, whatever.
Right, right.
But the backup in there was an in continuity like Mr. Miracle, which was Shiloh Norman, I want to say. And I feel like they're not referencing this at all in there, and I guess that's okay. I think you probably could have like a Shiloh Norman situation in here. So overall, I think this will probably be like a super evergreen book. I think that this was my favorite, and I'll put this right next to my Dawn Runner hardcover whenever this comes out in some type of
That's for
section. That's for you. We got to read Dawn Runner. Dawn
yeah, I
Runner.
will. I will get to Dawn Runner.
Dawn Runner's so in my wheelhouse. It's so nuts. It was so. It's just there's Kai. It's a monster fighter. It's kaiju. It's a sequel, pseudo sequel, sort of, not exactly of Pacific Rim, but it's better than that weirdo sequel that they had that was no good. So yeah, New Gods, Awestruck approved, right? Would you Awestruck approve that?
Yeah, I'll give it that.
All right, here we go. Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum 1. Um, what's this? What's that?
Also, what?
Teen? Is that on purpose? Is this like it looks like it says teen there, right? Like the logo doesn't have it. Is that 3.99? 13 plus? Did they mess this up?
Maybe.
Should this be an extra? Should the ribbon, DC ribbon? What are you doing? Anyway, um, I wasn't sure if you were going to read this. I wanted to read it, and I know I'm behind on Green Lantern. I'm like issue 6 or 7. I think it's on like 18 or something. But this worked really well for me. There's a Stefan Segovia
Yep.
variant. Beacon Marion, I've seen around. I always confuse him a little bit with like a Gleb Melnikov, who we just saw the art. Kind of right in that same
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
it's
Beacon
sometimes
Marion,
even looks a little like kind of Rockefordish. I think he
yeah.
comes from Aspen. I don't know if he did top cow work
Oh,
after that, but I know he definitely started.
that
I think he
fits.
started at Aspen.
That fits. I like the thick inking line though. He's inking himself, I suppose here. Yeah, it's an Ivan Reyes style. Uh,
He's a big Liefeld fan. I was hanging out with Liefeld one time at one show, and he came up. I think he did a page in Brigade and Prophet.
yeah, I was going to mention that. I think he did that's
Oh,
right
really?
on the Encore books that they did.
Yeah, when they redrew it for the modern age, and he was doing another project with him. I don't know if it's a one shot or I don't know if it happened or not. I don't think we haven't gotten any new. We don't know what's coming out around Youngblood. We don't know what
Mhm.
other stream books. I just know it's a lot. It's going to be a lot.
Good. New men. Let's go. New men.
Yeah, maybe he's got the rights back.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, to me, I would put this guy on something. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a B or fill in on Green Lantern. My only issue with this Green Lantern with Hal Jordan in general, I don't know. And I bought it yesterday again, and I had it before. Was it 91, 92? Was the Pat Broderick, Gray Temple Hal? What's wrong with Hal having Gray Temples? I feel like ever since they brought him back, right?
Well, Jeff
They
Johns
just get rid
explained
of
the
it.
Great Temples as him prematurely aging due to parallax being inside of him.
Come on, man. Who cares? Just let him age. Fuck it, man. Come on.
Dude, I think that Pat
Come
Broderick
on.
stuff was like 1990 even,
Yeah,
right?
just good.
Because
Just good though.
because
Yeah,
we
you got
got
it.
what do we get? We got Emerald Dawn, the
Emerald
miniseries
Dawn.
that retells the origin.
Yeah.
Did did we get the ongoing before Emerald Dawn 2? I feel
Oh,
like
I
we
don't
did.
know. It might have been Emerald Dawn 2, and then the ongoing.
Not positive.
Yeah.
Um, like a little like legit not positive. I just don't
I
know.
don't feel like they did Emerald Dawn 2 as something else was coming out because I feel like it was pretty good. I think it was Green Lantern for a while. I think Green Lantern, then it was Cosmic Odyssey. Or out of Cosmic Odyssey. Um, that's where Mosaic comes from. That's the Cully Hamner, Brian Stelfreeze cover.
Yeah.
That concepted
MD
because
MD and then did MD Bright do both Emerald Dawns? I know he did the
yes,
first one, him and Giffen, right?
Giffen and Gerard Jones, but Gerard Jones canceled.
Who I don't know
So,
who that is. We don't talk about Gerard.
oh, that's right. We don't talk
Um,
about Gerard, the
yeah, I
Disney
really
song.
loved Emerald Dawn. Jeff Johns kind of redid Emerald Dawn, took out the aliens that were hiding in the giant yellow robot body, and put in Atrocitus.
Oh yeah,
So he
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
retcon Emerald Dawn with a different alien, which is fine because then that leads to the whole Rage of the Red Lantern storyline, which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you do have to know a little bit about it. So to me, I like this guy because I feel like I like his Guy Gardner a lot. I think this. What does this look like? God, I kept staring at this earlier. I was trying to think what this looks like. I feel like this guy has like a couple combinations of styles. But that almost looks like Bradshaw or like almost like a I don't know, Madware. There's a lot of stuff. There's so many things going on here.
Mhm.
Some Panosian. There's just a
Well, he's
lot
he's a
here.
child of the '90s.
Yeah, I like this though. I thought this whole I totally bought this. I feel like I have trouble with Guy Gardner and giving him a place. I think this is the absolute perfect thing to do with Guy Gardner. And I wonder if this is what Jeremy Adams was talking to you about. He knew this was coming, right? Because
Yeah.
you were talking to him and you were like, is he reading Jeremy Adams, the writer of this book, is talking to Rob. He's like, you're reading it, right? And you're like, I guess you kinda. And he's
Well,
like, I'll get you. I'll win you over.
I was having such a good conversation with him, because he's a big Liefeld fan and he's a
Mhm.
big Alan Moore fan, and we're talking about Flash and all that stuff, and we're talking about Flash Gordon, and then
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"How about Green Lantern?" I'm like, "Good."
Right.
I'm like,
You
he
can
goes,
see your face. Yeah,
"Yeah."
wear it right on our faces. We're like,
Like,
"Whoa."
because you know what it is? When I'm reading your book, like really reading it, I'm in it for the details, the minutia, the this, that. We're like going deep on Flash. And like I couldn't fake a conversation. All of a sudden I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm reading it. It's good." Like I can't just 100, it's a 180 degree, you know. If I'm
Yeah,
reading your book, I'm really reading. If I'm glancing it, which is what I was doing. I can
right.
tell you a little bit. I can fake a little bit. Like I got fake a sports conversation for about a minute. Yeah, Eagles. But I
Go
don't,
birds.
go birds. So
When I open up my window, my neighbor's having a party, and like all of his family coming up, and then I'm looking out the window, I look like a weirdo. I'm like, "Woo, hey, go birds." Yeah. So we're in Eagles country, and Eagles are doing pretty well. Knock on wood, I guess. Um, but Hey, look, where's the Eagles colors here? Um, I I would think that anyone that's writing Green Lantern has a pretty big task because for the most part, okay, we just said the Emerald Dawn's good. The early we don't talk about Gerard Jones run, good.
right.
Mosaic, good. Uh, Ron Mars comes on, right? It gets a little stale, so what happens, right? Hal's bad. Um, and then it's Kyle. Then it's Kyle for a little too long, so then they're like, all right, we're bringing Hal back. Hal wasn't crazy. He was just kidding. He
Yeah.
had
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. He had what's his name in him? He had the
Parallax.
right. So
Parallax.
so Parallax is in him. So there you go. Right. Whoops. You had
So,
the yellow energy in him, and then they rebirth him. Right.
dude, Green Lantern Rebirth is a masterclass because not only
Yeah.
Mark, but first off, before he gets rebirthed, he gets spirited away. He gets remember he becomes Spectre,
Right. 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 That's right.
which
Spirited away.
I think Jeff Johns had to co-write that. I think he wrote the miniseries like afterwards,
Mhm.
which let him do all the math and figure out how to do Green Lantern Rebirth because Green Lantern Rebirth is a masterclass of retconning in a way that doesn't make it feel like it's retconning. It's like it
Right.
feels like he conned it, because when
What
you
was
read that,
first? Was Flash rebirth? Was
no, it was Green
Green
Lantern,
Lantern
and
then
Green Lantern
Flash?
was such a success that they're like, we're going to do Flash Rebirth. But the problem with Flash Rebirth is that it came out around the same time as Blackest Night, so like it kind of got put in the shadows a little bit
Right.
because Blackest Night was so good.
Blackest Night was huge. Yeah, Blackest Night was huge, and they go a little bit into this, and again, they never left some. So here we go. So this is some Blackest like Night continuity, basically with all the colors and everything. But I like this guy Gardner. I like Kyle's hair. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. But I listen. I will say this. I will say that they do have John prominent. I guess Simon Baz is popping over here. Jessica's not in the no, Jessica speaks to everyone. Jessica's like the mayor, kinda. So Jessica's gonna be in this, and I think I put and here's the thing. I had to insert this. Right after this is over,
Yeah.
the editor should have a space, or you cut a story page, well, maybe not cut a story,
Yeah.
but like you need to figure out a way to put in this or split this. You need to have one, two. You need to have the next cover, right? You need to have the GL19 split GL Core 1. and even coming this February, right? Boom. Okay. What's the problem with this cover? There's all humans. There's not a alien in here. Not
Right.
one. You got Teen
Or
Lantern, you got Far Sector chick, you got Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, John, Kyle, and Guy.
right.
Okay.
You're
Guy
right.
in the front, perfect. But you make the point to put Kilowog, you kill him, kill Kilowog in the beginning of this Green Lantern story, early in the ongoing. But we knew that wasn't going to stick. Don't do that. Never do
No,
that. But it
it
was
didn't
there
stick.
for
It didn't stick
like
last
shock
time.
value. Never do it. Never, never. Say what you will about the Green Lantern movie. I feel Sinestro was correct,
Yeah, because he's
right?
Mark Strong and he's phenomenal.
Right. But Kilowog also correct. And also, who was Jeffrey Wright? Was Jeffrey Wright? Like Tilma Ray? That
Ozzy?
sound right?
I don't
I
know.
think so.
Tomar
I'm gonna say
Tomar Ray seemed fine. The other aliens seemed fine in that movie. The CG could have been like a little bit better. Everything seemed. I remember everything seeming a little too shiny.
everything was it was mucky.
I
It
feel like, and
wasn't.
I feel like the green energy was too dark. I don't know.
Well,
I will rewatch it one day.
I think the biggest thing with Green Lantern Rebirth and the local Ethan Van Sciver of it all is I liked the way that he had the symbol coming off the chest. Similar, I'm wearing a BPRD shirt, but it's not still a circle. Like the way that it kind of came off and then was used the right way. I feel like the construct itself is really, is using it pretty well. I feel like Fernando Passarin already did a Green Lantern Corps book, right? I feel like during the Venditti run, I feel
I mean,
like that
that seems
person.
likely.
So that's okay, but
No, it could be just a return
uh,
to form. Hey, this worked. We're gonna
but I do like.
keep doing
Okay,
it.
so I do like so because you figure what? So Guy Gardner was Joe Staten, Ron Mars and Daryl Banks. John was Dave Gibbons, right? That Dave was Len Wein, Dave Gibbons, Simon Baz. I don't remember where Jessica and Simon Baz came in around the same time. Far Sector was its own thing, and then Teen Lantern was Bendis. Yeah, so
Yes.
I do like that. If you think about that, this is the way comics are supposed to go. I feel like when X Men, you need to keep building into the same team. Yeah, so if you the way that X Men does it, which isn't right, is that whoever comes on the X Men kind of picks and chooses. Then they introduce two or three people, whatever,
Mm.
and I just feel like then they introduce their Stacy X, their maggots, their marrows, So I don't know exactly. Oh, I think you're frozen. Are you
Can
there?
you still hear me?
I can still hear you, but you're
Okay.
frozen.
Thought it
Oh,
matters.
we're just gonna leave it. We're gonna
Just
leave
leave
it
it.
there. All right, well, here we go. So I don't know. To me, I just feel like that there should be an editor. We're basically the DC editors in a way. Like we should be like, what's this? And also, that it's a weird like. I guess just by the way that I don't know. This could be bigger. Ah, man, whoever's I just need everything to be a little bigger. That's what she said. You know,
You love that.
there's got to be a little bigger. All right, so here we go. So that's it for DC. Pretty light. I mean, again, pretty light week. We're just moving along here. GI Joe. I don't know. I don't know if it's an Office Space reference here,
Oh,
but you got the
crap.
red stapler.
I forgot to read this.
Oh my,
Oh no. Do you ruin anything?
probably.
Should we stop the show and start back up in 10 minutes?
I don't know. We can do that. We can do that because then what's going to happen? We need to see if we can reset your screen. So,
Okay. Let's do that.
all right. Well,
Recording stopped.
yeah. All right. Hold on. I'll pause it. 2, 1, and we're back. We're back. We did it. We took a quick pause because Rob didn't read this, and we had to fix the screen freeze anyway. So we're all set. GI Joe
Yep.
#3.
What's funny is I saved it for last to read and then I fell asleep.
There you go.
It's
A
fine.
couple Easter eggs on the cover here, right? We got the red stapler, so it makes me think of Office
Office
Space.
Space. Somebody took my
Uh,
stapler.
it's just funny that I don't know if Tom Riley ever worked in an office. You just have the different pens and highlighters, and it's just funny. It's just funny.
if you're not paying attention, you really don't see like it looks like blue sky behind them, but it's just the ceiling, the panels, the
I
lights.
don't even know I noticed until you just said it. Yeah, so you're right. I don't know because again, everything is so action forward. And when we do have the heads, we got heads here too. We got like corner box heads, which is nice.
Good.
It's funny, like we're really looking at kind of every aspect of it, but I don't know if I love the no outline on this. Yeah, I guess you can. Printing's good enough, you can. Digital's good enough, you can. Here's the David Finch alternate cover. So
Awesome as always, as David Finch.
yeah. Is he
Good.
doing, is he, I guess he's just doing covers. He's making a lot of money off of probably the Walking Dead covers, right?
I liked it. Yeah, the Walking Dead covers. He's done almost every one.
The
I
deluxe.
do enjoy Baroness on the team. Like, I hope she
Mhm.
never stabs him in the back. I don't know.
I don't know. I
They
don't
kind of
know.
set a new precedence for her in the first G.I. Joe movie where I guess she was being mind controlled.
Yeah,
So go back to covers.
yeah, there was
Don't rush through that.
a
We
thing
don't.
cover support. This is Maria Lobos, I think.
Really got a good Adam Hughes feel from her.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna. When I saved it, I was like, because unfortunately, it's cut a little bit here, so I think that's again gotta edit these books, man. Jordy Belair. It said cover support Frank Joe, but I could not find a Frank Joe art on this. And then when I dug through, and actually I could see on the watermark here, this says 2014. So I thought this might have been an alternate cover. I found a couple different things that I'm seeing. The Brandon
I was gonna say
Peterson
that I've
maybe
seen
colored it.
before. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I've seen before. The other one, is that a fan coloring it? Looks like garbage.
I don't know. No, I think I saw that. Probably. I think I saw that he posted a. I saw this in pencil, so this looks
Yes.
like it's in pencil. So yeah, it might have been a fan color on that. But that's when he was doing his. He would almost draw like a like pencil on the background. So this is 2014. So that's fine. And then I guess Brandon Peterson. So 200. So someone scanned their print of this. So all good. All good.
Yeah.
Maybe probably was pencil and then Brandon Peterson colored it, I guess, did
Brandon
something with it.
Peterson is a good colorist, especially on Frank Cho stuff. They've done quite a few things together. They're friendly. I think Brandon Cho, he always, not Brandon Cho, I'm Creighton.
Brandon Cho.
Brandon Peterson, I know. I feel like that's someone real. Brandon Peterson was living in Tampa. He lived out west and then he moved to Tampa for CrossGen. So
Mhm.
I don't know if he still lives in Florida or not, but he usually is a pretty regular attendant of Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I wasn't sure because I know Frank Cho's local Baltimore, so I don't know
Yeah.
if because he lives in Beltsville or at least always drew when I worked for Diamond, second Diamond reference in the last two shows, but when I worked for Diamond, I when I first trained for Diamond or had some conference or something, I had to stay in Beltsville before I had my no, it was when I first started working there. Yeah, I was staying in Beltsville, and then had to was finding an apartment basically. So, um, yeah, so we have God, why can't I think who's in there right now? Who's the guy that's in there? Stalker?
Clutch.
Clutch. Right. So, couple things. Jordy Belair is still playing around in this. It's so funny. Like I feel like, and I've done this in different like color tests. So as I zoomed in on this, so did you see right here? Like I zoomed in on this. So I feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that later, right? So I don't know if she's doing it on purpose because I feel like she did that when she's doing. I'm not sure if she's still coloring Birds of Prey when she was doing the Leandro Romero colors there. I feel like this pastel thing is what she is now into, right? And I'm not mad at it. Again, I think it's really good. I just think it's funny when I see something like this, and it's like, are you going to go back to it, or are we good? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't
If you
really.
if you look at it, not that you can see my cursor, this the middle box to the bottom left, it's like you can see like the outline of a person or something, but it's just like a straight line of like color. Like
Right, right.
actually it's around most people. It's like
Yeah, just a slight differentiation, and then have a different light source here. So it's kind of strange, but I do love the way uh Destro looks, got the big chest out. Um, and then what's this actually kind of I feel like there was a story recently that I read that they're like, I was a trader in our miss, and then something happened, and you're like, and then the person who's the actual trader, like, whew, good thing that
right.
happened. So this is
Yeah.
kind of like something similar too. And I guess that's who Cobra Commander, because basically Clutch is too new to be there's a traitor in our midst type of situation. But
Yeah,
way to have enemy, what was it? Enemy commander, enemy leader,
enemy leader.
enemy leader here, Cobra Commander. On the last show, we talked about my Instagram post this week where I put Cobra Commander and in the old GI Joe Order Battle number 3.
Which is their
Uh,
version of the Marvel Universe, DC Who's Who.
yeah, it's all like dossiers basically. They have Cobra Commander as enemy leader. The name is enemy leader, and then like the position is Cobra Commander. So it was like flipped. So in there it was under E. So because I was like, how is there no entry for Cobra Commander? That's weird, and I don't do it. And then I went back to it, so found it later. But here we go. But yeah, just again, great face acting. I think everything all around. And then I wonder who did this crunch. Is this? I imagine it's not credited, but I imagine that this is that had to have been Tom Riley. No, I guess it
Good,
was.
good chance.
I
Good
wonder if
chance.
this. I wonder if this is. See, we have this here. Hmm, I wonder if this is on paper. Interesting. I don't know because again, we know you can do a ton of stuff in digital, of course, but when I see stuff like this with the inks like of just running a little bit long,
Hmm.
then I would feel
It's
it
almost
would,
like inks run long a lot of times because you're using a ruler.
yeah.
Could be.
I mean, let's
So
get paid. You want this? This wouldn't be bad on a wall, that's for sure. And I also thought this that reminded me just basically of this trap door, this big circle, and reminds me of 300, of course, with that getting kicked. But I do find it's very evil layer to just have a like an open door-ish, just a button. It's
the
very
first
James
panel,
Bond.
the first panel with this Cobra agent, like
Ooh,
looks like looks like a Neil Adams drawing.
mm. Yeah. I looked, and then I zoomed on this. Yeah, gross.
It is gross. The skin all peeling off
Good.
like he's a visitor from B.
Yeah, but to me, it almost looked right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's very lizard-like. So yeah,
Yes,
really, really
because
good. A lot of
well,
blood. I like this.
listen,
A lot of blood.
don't talk down on the lizard people, dude.
I won't. I won't. So
He's a
yeah,
snake person. He's a snake person. Get it right.
I didn't want you to. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, let's blow through it. But I'm happy you didn't because then you wouldn't have gotten this. I feel like at least once an issue there's toys. There's toys.
Yes,
Like in one of the first issue it was nothing but like the little helicopters and the Cobra copters, and so just having the toys and Tomax and Zaymot, the Crimson Twins. So great reveal at the end. Again,
yep.
solid, super
Thumbs up.
solid.
Nice that the
Uh,
grill is a Cobra. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. That's not. I wonder if that's because I feel like that was a toy. No, was this a? But I don't.
Looks
I
like a
don't
toy.
think.
I
Yeah,
mean, it has to be. It has to be a toy.
I don't know.
We're not
Maybe
GI
they're
Joe
just.
experts,
Yeah, we're not, and that's okay. That's
but
all
we're
right.
really enjoying all new GI Joe stuff.
Yeah, I
They got
wonder
they
what.
got us locked in.
I wonder. I'd like to. Talk to Jordy Belair about like what's going on. What's going on? What's going on here?
It's a distinct color palette for this comic, that's for sure. Both GI Joe books have really good, distinct coloring
Yeah,
going on.
different. Some of it's similar. I feel like the dots are similar, but this you're right. This definitely has its own color palette. So, boom, here we go.
Another Bagley inked,
Yeah,
penciled and ink cover, colored by
good.
Richard Eisenoff.
And
Yeah,
again, he's doing a lot more work than I'm used to. So I feel like he's having a very good time,
yeah,
and that's
it's like a
great.
Bagley Renaissance. It's the Bagassance.
Yeah, I feel like I mean if he's semi-retired as stated, and I feel
I
like a
see.
lot of this work is different than he's done before. I don't know if he's using some white out here. Just overall general, it's not just like a normal like Bagley floaty head type
White,
of thing.
white out pens, white markers, whatever they're called. Artists love them. Like it's so much better than actually using like white out. It's a super tool used by artists. Yeah, you know what's great is Bagley's drawing this stuff, and he's probably just feels great. Like he's retired, gets up when he wants to, maybe has his coffee, just sits down and pencils the cover, lays it out. Like no real problems, no real schedule, no commit times. Just get it done. Here's a cover. Here's another cover. Here's another cover. I used to do probably three pages a day. Now I'm just relaxing and doing a cover.
Right. I guess our biggest issue with this whole thing and what they've done in the past with these dot whatevers is that it's completely optional. But if you do a special, a Amazing Spider-Man Phil Coulson special,
Right. Phil Coulson,
no one's buying that.
eight Deaths of Spider-Man, one shot isn't selling.
No.
But Amazing Spider-Man 65 point death, yeah, that's selling close to your Amazing Spider-Man numbers.
Non-legacy numbering. But so if you're ordering this in your store, if I was a store, oof, maybe I'd order one or two less. I don't know. I probably would order probably close to the same. Probably close to the
Yeah,
same.
close to the same. Maybe one or two less for your walkthrough because our store did have decent walkthrough.
Mm.
Yeah,
But yeah, a little bit less.
but it's also got
Um,
Mark. It's also got a Mark Bagley cover, so it just fits in with the rest of the story.
yeah, and then part whatever last part and then part coming out. I think next week. I feel like the next issue is next week. So they're kind of pumping these through. Derek Landy, which I feel like that's a name that does a lot of annuals, done some non-memorable annuals, in my opinion. Kev Walker's been around for a long time. I like his Thunderbolts
Yeah.
run quite a bit. That's probably my favorite thing he's done. And he did a recent Guardians rebootish thing, and I thought that was pretty good too. But that I think that's old like crap. That was canceled
Huh.
quickly.
We actually don't have a Guardians book right now, do we?
No, I don't know. I think that was all the last thing he did. I don't know if it got the six and then it was canceled or it was a planned and then they just didn't keep it going. But yeah, that's gone. The last two have been kind of fast. The
The
last
one
three,
Cooter I enjoyed was it Jerry Dugan and Cooter
yeah.
did a book after
And then
volume two, I
Samney did
think.
an issue. I had did an issue of Star Lord like and a mixtape, and that was great. That was like just a one issue Samney issue, and it was excellent. Actually, I think I have it still. I think I bought it. I think I was reading that digitally, and I wanted to have that. Yeah, it's a really good issue of,
That
but it,
happens.
it's very movie Star Lord. So to me, I don't like it when they back into this. So this was kind of funny to me by even saying that because this
Yeah.
Coulson doesn't feel like Clark Gregg Coulson. This feels like as if and I didn't like it, him being. I don't like Agent Coulson in the movies because to me, it wouldn't hurt anything for it to be Clay Quartermain, right? It wouldn't be like this is not that's not Clay Quartermain. It's close enough. You know what I mean? Clay Quartermain was kind of well, a little more playboy, I suppose, but he was
Yeah.
he was a Shield
You
agent.
know, he's a good looking guy with nice blonde hair.
Yeah,
He's clearly not him.
I just would, but that's the only other agent I would think. It's not. He's not Dum Dum Dugan, right? Who's in the Cat movie, you know?
Right. Who's
Um,
awesome, played by Neil McDonough.
yeah,
You know, if I got
McDonough.
that name right. He's a really good actor. I always like him.
Ooh, I think he spoke out. God, I'm trying to think. Was he reverse canceled? He wasn't canceled, but I think he didn't get some work because he spoke up about something.
He doesn't want to do sex scenes or kiss
That's what it
other
was.
women that aren't his real life wife.
Yeah. So he got
Um,
cast less.
so he got cast less. But
Hey,
like
man.
he's still good. Like just all right, so we
Yeah.
just don't put that in a movie. If you know, you don't hire an actress who doesn't want to get nude to do a movie filled with nude scenes.
Yeah, he was good, Dum Dum Dugan, and I'm trying to
He's
think who was
he
man who
played.
was
Oh, here's something funny. He played Bison in the Street Fighter Chun Li movie that Kristen Krieg was in.
oh okay Smallville
Right,
Smallville
Smallville, Lana. But
all the
he's been in Desperate Housewives. He's been in American Horror Story. He played President Eisenhower fantastically.
yeah he's a good oh really yeah he's a good like day player. What's the guy I'm thinking of it I
Oh, he
oh
was also on in the Arrowverse. He was Damien Dark.
that's right yeah he was good Damien Dark too that's
Yeah,
right
because he has those piercing blue eyes that are like,
yeah
oh, he's really good. Heck, I want him. I want a more Dum Dum. Give me that Invaders movie with him as Dum Dum. He did show up in the Agent Carter series once or twice.
yeah and then the president or the principal Marita is playing the real like grandson of Marita
Yes,
in the cab.
right,
So
right. And
he's
for
on. I
one of
think
the
he's on
Howling
the
Commandos.
911 Fox show. Like, and he's pretty solid. He's pretty solid in that. So yeah, I mean, shit. Like, give it an. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Well, yeah. I mean, shit. You, say you did Jim Hammond, right? Say you have special effects enough for Jim Hammond. Okay. Now that we would have a Human Torch. Yeah, man. Give me an Invaders. Give me an Invader series.
Yes.
Throw Agent Carter in there. you know, you had
You know what?
young.
If we can get that Steve Rogers Infinity Stones TV show, that's where you do an Invader series because he's gone back and messed with the past.
Hmm.
So there's no reason for it not to happen.
Well, there's reason. They're there's bad. They're bad at stuff. They're bad at
They're
stuff.
bad stuff.
But this Coulson, so this essentially is a Coulson issue, but I don't hate any of it. I kind of liked it too. It's weird. The most enjoyable issues of Amazing Spider-Man are not by the main creators at all, right? Derek Landy, this is a good issue, and then Justine Ireland, her first issue was
Yeah.
better than the second issue, but like if you didn't tell me that that second issue wasn't Joe Kelly, was a great impression of Joe Kelly or as good as the first issue of Joe Kelly. But the two or
Yes.
three issues Joe Kelly's after has been like whatever, and then you're going to fake cancel
I
this.
think there's only been one Joe Kelly after Mark.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
We got
New,
one Joe Kelly,
that's
and then
so
we got
stupid.
this.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, this is a Colson that's been through a lot. I don't know if he had brain problems because then he's the one semi-responsible for the Heroes Reborn story that Jason Aaron did. Where like the Squadron Supreme was like in control of Earth. Did you read that?
I think I couldn't wrap my really my. I was that coming out of Avengers.
Yes. So if you
Yeah,
weren't reading Avengers,
towards the end of or towards the middle of Avengers, I was getting tired of Jason Aaron Avengers.
okay, but
That
the Heroes
was
Reborn
rough.
stuff is a mini series of just awesomeness. You first off, you get a whole Hyperion issue drawn by Ed McGuinness. So it's just like the return of Ed McGuinness Superman.
Mm,
Then there's other good stuff. I think Cooter does an issue. They're all everyone gets a spotlight issue.
yeah.
In fact, now I kind of want to relook it again. I'm a big Squadron Supreme fan, like big time.
Sure. Yeah. 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 I'm mad that I want to say that Pete Hagen has one. I'm a big. I really wish I would have gotten a Squadron Supreme Ashes edition, man. I think I need to
Oh,
get that.
the writer Mark Grunwald feels that his Squadron Supreme miniseries of the 80s, drawn by Bob Hall and a bunch of people, was the best thing that he had ever written in his life.
Mm.
So when he passed, he wanted his ashes mixed in with the ink of the first official Squadron Supreme trade paperback, which is hard to believe we didn't get one before that.
No. Well, Marvel was really bad at traits. It was
They
really,
were,
really
they
bad at
were.
traits. And you had an Alex Ross cover, and then it literally had like a big stamp on it. So the issues that it came out, it had a big stamp, and it said something special edition or something like that. But
Right. So
there's
here's
also, do you know about the? You might even be telling the story that I'm about to tell.
nope,
Do you know
two
about?
different stories.
All right, let's go. You go first.
Okay. But tangent number one. I'm at a New York City comic convention, 1999, 2000, going down an elevator. This woman walks in. She's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" We're talking to her, real nice. Here she's like Mark Grunwald's wife, his widow. And we're like, "Oh, we love Mark Grunwald." And then I went Squadron Supreme was like one of my favorite Marvel books ever. And she grabs my arm. She's like, "Oh, did you get the copy with his ashes in it?" And
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, and I lied to her. I said, "Yes, I did," but like, it felt so awkward. Like, but she was excited. She was
yeah,
excited to
yeah.
talk to me because
Do you
I
have a
was a fan
piece
of
of
her.
my husband at home?
I know,
I do.
I do, but she was really sweet. The other tangent because I love this type of stuff. The Squadron Supreme miniseries originally was going to be drawn by John Byrne.
There's
If you look,
sketches. Yeah,
there's sketches online. You can look them
yeah.
up. So John Byrne was currently working on the Hulk, and he was going to do Squadron Supreme because why only do one book a month? You're John Byrne. You can do 2 books a month.
Hmm.
But DC got their talents into him. He left Marvel, left Hulk, left Squadron Supreme project, and went on to do Superman. So it was just funny that he was doing a Superman archetype, and he's like, "Man, I'll
Right,
do the real Superman."
right. I get paid a lot of money, I'm sure.
Now, do I prefer a world where John Byrne draws the Squadron Supreme miniseries, which could go
Probably.
on to an ongoing series if he loves it, and then we
Hmm.
have Alan Moore writing Superman for a couple of years? Might be a better world.
That's
Oh, and then Jerry Ordway comes in. Then we get Alan
the
Moore, Jerry
Mark
Ordway,
Wolfman, Jerry
Superman.
Ordway. Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't
That
know.
wouldn't be bad.
Pretty. Yep, that's a different world. That's an Elseworlds.
Can you see outside? Snow's coming down pretty hard now.
Yeah, we had hail about 10 minutes ago, right before
Oh
I got on
wow.
the phone with you. Phone.
Whoa,
Right before I got on this
look out.
internet thing.
Interwebs.
Yeah, we had sleet. It was pretty neat. Pretty neat to
Uh
see the sleet. Ah, sleet, 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 sleet.
oh boy. So real I this so there's a couple pages in a row, right? So let's
Right.
just kind of run through. So this I've never liked. So this is just basically history of Spider-Man. I'm explaining
Right.
all
The
the deaths
deaths,
the
the
deaths of
deaths of
Spider-Man.
loved ones. Oof, Uncle Ben. Did we ever see where Uncle Ben got shot? Is that where he got shot? Right through and through?
I don't
Chest?
know. I wonder if we're getting hail. I'm hearing some things.
Hell
Um,
no.
I don't know. I think that yeah, I don't know. That's a tough panel. That's an iconic. That's a is that a Gil Kane? The Gil
Yes.
Kane reach
Yeah,
up.
Gil Kane.
What's that?
I think that's Ned Leeds.
Oh yeah, yuck. Okay, Captain Stacy.
Right. His
I
his
never liked the
parents.
parents. I never liked the parents. I think that's no good.
Well, the
That should have
parents
never been a thing.
who it's too much. Like, oh, your parents were agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No.
No.
A plane crash? Cool. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No, it's too much. Um, Green Goblin death, obviously iconic.
Harry's fake death.
Ugh.
Uh,
Um, that
Aunt May's kind of dead. Not
her fake death.
exactly. Her fake death. Everyone's. You shouldn't be able to have some fake deaths in here. You have
Ben
Sin
Riley's
Eater.
Ben Riley's fake death. Nah,
Yeah.
he gets cloned to come back.
For
And
sales.
then
For
Is that Gene
sales and
Gene DeWolf?
yeah, for sales and nostalgia. I do think it's kind of fun that they put, they have like the zoom like like it's crazy.
Oh yeah, those toys that were popular for 30
Yeah.
seconds.
Death. That's really fun. I like that there. So,
Yeah,
and then you got
the
that.
machine. Always back to the machine.
Do it.
The
Do it.
heavy machine.
But you might as well. I mean, you might as well have, that's the correct, I think, lineup of if you're going to do a Spider-Verse like reference. So I liked all those. I thought that those were, having that as the main, as the couch. That's drawn though. That's
A
not the
couch
same
gag.
couch. Yeah, it's cool though because it's not the same. It's not the same drawing over and over.
No.
Well, maybe
Oh,
close,
actually,
but
the couch looks worse with each picture.
yeah, true. Like life,
Yes.
I look worse with each year. Uh, do you think if you're
This is like his John Romita page.
Yeah, yeah. And there's like, well, so is that like the guy from Oh God, sad. Everything's sad. Everything's difficult. No horn honking. Honk. No horn honking. Terribly fun. Honk. Do you think if you're Spider-Man, you're getting a pizza and you're hungry, you wouldn't go up to the roof? I guess you wouldn't be able to have the school shadow. So I guess that's where
It's
you
true.
go. You
It
know?
only goes. Also, like, don't you feel like Peter Parker can stick through his shoes? I don't know. If he can stick through his costume,
Yeah.
I've always just assumed like it's not like his feet are made out of glue. I always felt like it was a electrostatic type of deal.
Yeah, I don't know. But listen, you gotta have a cool pose. You gotta have some
No, it's
pizza,
true.
you know?
Ezekiel was famous for not wearing his shoes, so
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe a slight a slight callback. What is that? Is it windy? It sounds crazy out there right now. Um, yeah, I don't know, and I think Kev Walker, if I'm not mistaken, is British, so I'm not sure. I know this one podcast that always talks about how they draw pizza. Pizza always looks bad in comics, or
that
like the
looks
Nightwing was Bruno Redondo's like from like South America or whatever. They hate the Nightwing issues where he's eating pizza because he's holding it wrong. Like you know what I mean? So it's like I can see them having trouble with this as
it's
well.
funny.
So
That's funny.
um,
Look at
no,
this cover, dude.
yeah, what's funny is I have zero problems with this issue, and then I was watching Thinking Critical is another YouTube channel, and they talk about the comics they like, and they mentioned this, and they're like, man, if Nick Klein drew this, would be like a huge better issue, and I'm like, what we talked about the last couple of weeks is that the B artists are really up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is Danny Earls. Here's one of the variants, which I thought was like, and that
Oh,
was
that's
the
fun.
best. And I haven't seen any of these in person. I think these are ratio variants, but I guess that's how they're doing it. So like when I see them out, when some of the websites post them, they'll post the actual initial because they have it a little bit hard. These homages aren't really. This one's kind of known, right? But I feel
Yeah.
like some of the homages, the one I showed a couple weeks ago, that was like a Galactus one. It was like a pre superhero like Jack Kirby drawing, like it's
Yeah,
of a monster.
Like an Atlas Comics.
Yeah, so they're not that common. I think there's a Fantastic Four one this week, or I think it's from a different one, but it's a Fantastic Four homage cover,
I
but
hope
it's like
he's
Spider-Man or something. But
I hope he's
it's
got a lot of towels to clean up that mess.
oh. Ay, ay, ay. Look at that. I don't know. I didn't listen to that. So you're seeing that next week, 2 weeks out.
The 15th, the day
Yeah.
after Valentine's Day,
The tough
Saturday.
one. It's a tough one for
Why?
me,
Oh,
man.
because you'd be over your girls.
Yeah, it's our anniversary. So
The 15th?
mhm.
Are you seeing her on the 14th, Valentine's Day proper?
Yep.
Are you? All right. Ah,
Yep.
Mark, bring her.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy anniversary. You want to go see Captain America recut McCutterstein? I don't know what we're going to call it. We need to make a title. I want to see how choppy it is because you do understand that Giancarlo Esposito didn't meet anyone until like some other like press conference or something recently. I
How about
know it
this?
may
You
not
call it,
matter,
you
but
call it its real name, Captain America 4 reshoots.
Captain America for reshoots.
Four
Yeah,
reshoots.
I just don't know. Oh, I hear what it is. Okay. So I live on a dead end road, and that's what they're doing. They're basically getting the salt trucks out and stuff. They're all lining up. I was wondering what all that noise was.
They're gonna salt that shit.
Yeah, look out.
Look out and shout. Ow! Radio Perceptor. Radio Receptors. Perceptor.
Receptor, receptor. All right, so here we go. Danny Earls, baby. So Danny Earls time. I don't know, and I feel like the last time we talked about this, I couldn't exactly figure out
Mark
what
Brooks.
this looks like. Yeah, there's
This looks like Mark Brooks before he started digitally painting everything.
oh
When
yeah,
other
before it
people
all
would color
turned
them.
brown. Before it all turned brown. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of crazy impact. Danny Earls was at, but I think he was talking to someone. He was at Baltimore. He was near Platt. He was in the same. I think the same agent had that whole
Okay.
block, right?
Plat, plat,
But
plat.
yeah, I just thought I don't know. I think this is a lot of blood, and I didn't think. Oh, I only put a couple pictures up.
Oh.
I didn't think there
Later on,
was
there's some good
as
werewolf
much.
arms that look like had those Dale Keown big arms, that pit veins, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, you can see or scars. Like he's good with the scars and the veins.
yeah.
This was a good issue. I just enjoyed. I just sat down, read this issue, and just enjoyed it. You know, sometimes we're not like super pro. Like I like Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a little boring, but like this one, like this run's been pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with this run so far. I mean, the problem with the Hulk stuff, I think, for a while now is that after pretty much after Peter David, no one's really had. They're all runs that are kind of set to end, right? I feel like even when they did Immortal Hulk, it was like,
I mean,
okay, well, how long are we gonna do this? You
that's
know?
sadly comics in totality.
Right. It's
Nobody's like nobody gets on a book and they're like, I want to be on this forever. I mean,
right.
Philip Kennedy Johnson did say that with Superman. He's like, I could write Superman forever. DC's like, that means 2 years, bud.
I mean, it's 2 years, bud, and maybe someone in editorial should have been like, all right, you gotta do something. Get off this planet. You can't keep doing this barbarian Superman thing. We gotta go.
It just went
You
on
know?
too long.
I went on. They made an omnibus of it. They made a full omnibus of it. So that's pretty
Like
intense.
I was excited about that story, but I'm like, man, this is too long. Like I want to see new ideas. See, Superman to me is new ideas. Like if Alan Moore had written Superman, it would have been like a new crazy story every month.
Mm.
Maybe occasionally it'd be 2 issues, and then it'd be even better. You know, and that's what I want with Superman. Look at All Star Superman. It's one long story, but every issue is something incredible. So
Mm. That's what I
thumbs
wanted.
up.
Yeah, I just wanted to check him. I know we typically talk about this. I think the last time I just only kind of grabbed a couple screen grabs on this, but yeah. So this is basically the Chris Samnee colorist previously on Firepower, but this is Matt Wilson, Matthew Wilson. Really good. It's like Dayglow. It's like a little uh almost like Blacklight, you know.
Yeah, I dig it.
So I think this is my last one for this Galactus thing. I don't know if I can do because it's Rogue and Ghost Spider next, and I don't care about either of those per se.
I'm more
And
excited about Ghost. When I say excited, Ghost Spider seems more interesting to me only
mm,
because she's not even from our universe. So it's a
right,
what if about a what if world. Um, I don't like what ifs that aren't possible.
right,
Like so, like all right, Moon Knight, sure, whatever. Hulk,
yeah,
Hulk is a legitimate good what if that should have been something incredible. You know, Gambit, all right, Rogue, okay, Moon Knight, all right, that doesn't even make sense.
yeah,
He can give you super incredible galactic universal powers, but like can't fix your personal multiple personality disorder,
Yeah,
dissociative identity, because that's what it's really called now. They don't call it multiple
DID.
personality disorder. Yeah,
Well, I think, and geez, I didn't like this so much. I didn't do any screen. The only thing I wanted to do screenshots of is when so Khonshu gets in the fight with Galactus and dies, and then Moon Knight gets and he says, "I refuse to be your herald." And Moon Knight gets there and he's like, "I'll be your herald." And I'm like,
yeah,
"Why?
yeah.
Like, what was? I don't understand." So like to me, like from the jump, and I like it's Alex Segura, so
You like
he's
Alex Luger?
doing yeah, he's doing Dick Tracy, right? That's the Dick Tracy guy.
Is he doing Dick Tracy?
I think so,
I,
yeah.
I want to like him. I want to like him because his Archie stuff I liked,
Hmm.
and then like, but his Star Wars stuff I think is really boring. Like I was real excited about this post Jedi storyline because like, all right, finally we're getting some post Jedi Star Wars stories, and it's just kind of this Jakora battle for Jakora or whatever. It's like just
Jakku.
boring. Jakku, yeah,
Battle of Jakku. But I feel like he's co-writing that. So to me, my brain doesn't give a plus minus when I see a co. So I think it's him and Charles Soule. Like I think Soule's ideas are in there. So I can't tell who's doing what.
well that
So
should make it better because Charles Soule
it
can
should,
write
but I
Star
just I just
Wars.
gotta give it a pass. Like I don't know. So even if it's good or bad, I can't attribute it to either writer. I won't attribute it plus or
All right,
minus.
all
I
right.
won't do it. You can't make me do it. But I don't know. I guess so. It's Rogue next week. But like this costume wasn't too far off. So Ron Lim, so I have the Ron Lim variant here. Barely, that's barely done. And I doubt it's even on this graph paper. So also that's confusing. I
They
don't
lie
think
to
so.
us.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's on. I know what they're doing per se, but yeah, just
Ron Lim is
not.
not drawing something that needs to be published on graph paper.
But see, this looks great. Like all the main covers of these look great.
Yeah,
They looks great. Coloring's great. The logos in the right spots. They're the right size. The coloring
so
on the logos are
utilizing
good.
a little star field in the blacks of the costumes.
That's
Yes,
correct.
I
Yeah, so
dig.
that is probably correct there. But and even this, I'll have it in my description thing of who did this, but I do like this is really good, and also the fade out. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the newer guys. But the big news is this one, and you know what?
All right, Ultimate Wolverine #1, really nice cover, kind of reminiscent of like a Tom Mandrake-ish. I get that feel from it in a modern. It meets Stuart Immonen.
Look at well, this is where like I know that I was a little upset that I feel like these are wasted pages. This is a Hickman situation, right? Where you have like you have a main cover, then you have the art showcase. Here I'm fine with the art showcase because it's excellent, right? I like the
Yeah.
glare, like the lens flare sort of.
Hmm.
And this is the guy, if I'm not mistaken, who worked on Moon Knight, on the new Jed McKay Moon Knight book, which I haven't read.
Yeah. I
I
recall
think
you having difficulty saying his name at some point.
Capuccio. But here's your classic trope. You're either in a helicopter, you're in
This is legit
a
Ultimates number
cargo.
one.
Right, it is that. Correct. Yeah. And then you are gonna jump. It doesn't have a shoot,
He
which
doesn't
is
have a
what Cap
shoot.
does too, right? Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. It is that. I didn't really think about that, but do that. Go ahead. And this is a cool fake out too, because I was when it went to this, I'm just like, did he just land and like lose all his body stuff? So,
Yes. Yeah. Nice.
um,
Yeah. It's maybe should have been. Do they want you to not know it's a different time? Don't know.
right, don't know. Yeah, don't know. I
Again, we prefer different coloring when it comes to flashbacks. Give us a clue.
right. Yeah,
Don't fake us out.
I was a little confused because I feel like they went back and forth a little bit in here. This also, I think I zoomed in on that. Yeah, this that reminded me of something also, whether it be
That's something we've seen before.
yeah, it felt like a Silvestri or something. But I like the blood coming down. And I think the way this guy draws, I feel like I've seen some of his black and white stuff. I feel like this is all digital, and but this I thought was a little confusing too because again, when then it jumps again, it jumps back again,
Right.
right? So
But
I
it
wish
doesn't tell you it jumps and
no,
there's
I
no
was
differentiation
confused.
in color.
Right.
You're
So
like,
I got a
oh,
little
is it?
confused with this.
Yeah, it always took an extra panel to or two to figure it out. But it looks like if you're reading the Ultimate Universe, the Russians have power over a large territory of Eurasia. Colossus is in charge, so obviously Magic would be in charge. So I'm surprised they didn't do something better with her. because I don't know if in this world she's been in a limbo or whatever. She would just be a sister. So I don't know if he's thinking ahead as far as Ultimate Universe wise. What's different?
Right. Right.
Nightcrawler is a priest. Mystique is working with him, some sort of rebellion slash. You know what I mean? So I guess there's more mutants in Russia. Did Russia welcome in all mutants in this Ultimate world? I think kind of they said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's another trope, the crick crack getting ready to fight. But
I do it.
this confused me too because I was like when I again because it went from page to page and I'm just like, wait, did he hurt? But I didn't really catch it
Is
right at
this you're
first.
like, is this the flashback to Colossus who was just on the other page?
That's what I
No.
thought initially. Yeah.
She turned into Colossus. I don't know why. Let me turn into someone you hate.
Right.
He's only going to double down on killing you. You should have turned into someone you think he loves. Like if a
Right.
Kitty Pryde exists in this universe, you know? We
Yeah.
don't, because they know him. Nightcrawler
Mhm.
knows him. I don't know where from. I don't know if there's some sort of mutant liberation front at some point. Did they ever try to fight? Did they gather up? Like, what was the situation that led Wolverine to be so nothing less of him in that first flashback page?
Yeah, and
Um,
I feel like one of the articles and I didn't look at it in Bleeding Cool. I felt like we would have seen what's under his face thing.
right, because he calls him Logan.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think it would be cool if it was like Paul Logan, like his dad from Origin.
Right. Right.
That would be something neat. I was hoping it was going to be, me. I love Sabretooth. I was like, oh, it could be Sabretooth because he looks blonde in one picture. Like it'd be neat if he
Well, they call
wasn't.
him Winter Soldier in
Well,
one
yeah,
part of it.
well, he's always going to be Winter Soldier, but it's like that's just the name of the
The
blank-minded soldier
operative.
they've created. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So like it would be cooler if it wasn't Wolverine, James Howlett Wolverine. I mean,
Right.
there he just looks like James Howlett Wolverine.
Right. Right. Right.
Or what if his dad had powers? But I don't know. It just seems boring to make it Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I to me this gave me what I want in a Wolverine book: blood, violence,
And mystery.
action.
It's literally the mystery of Wolverine not knowing who he is again.
Yeah, this is better than Wolverine number one. It was better than Wolverine Revenge number one. Like it's this is one of the better Wolverine issues in the last like 5 years,
And
basically.
people care because it counts into the Ultimate Universe, which people have a vested interest in
Um,
thanks to Ultimates being so good and Ultimate Spider-Man.
being debatably good. But a big seller. So I guess. I just feel like this is the beginning of the X-Men in the Ultimate Universe because I can't wrap my mind around the Peach Momoko stuff.
The
It
Peach
doesn't work
Momoko
for me.
stuff just doesn't count, I don't think.
It doesn't count for me. Doesn't count for me. So here we go. Woo! Now I've been complaining a bit. Is there thunder too? What is all this noise up here? It sounds really scary outside. Um, I don't know why, and I did some research on this. Okay, I don't know exactly why this banner of the from the world of Hellboy up there. Just make it a B.P.R.D. miniseries. B.P.R.D. 1947, 1957. That's all it
Yeah, but
is.
it's from the world of Hellboy,
I
Mark.
know that. I know that already. There's Hellboy's on the cover. I got it. But like you, this isn't a new character. All right. And I tried to look down, and there is no additional created by because at first I was trying to figure out because this character who and it seemed familiar initially, Victor Kessler, who has the thing floating from this, and then also when I looked up further, he's mentioned in the first Hellboy movie, I think, first or second. Like what? And I got to go through this. Chris Peters is somebody. Chris Peters wasn't he like a letter or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go through all these. Enos sounds. Yeah,
Ashley Strode sounds familiar.
Enos I know was in it. I don't know that, but Esteban, yes, and Kessler, right? So like it's just kind of funny. And again, it doesn't really matter because again, we're in 1945, so it could have died in the line of battle, or I mean, I imagine that if you're going to be on that. But this is not that new of a character either. This character's been around since 2017.
Oh my
So
God, she's in Wolfman.
no, I just put that up there because I was like, there's zero buzz on that, like 0.0 buzz.
I
And
know.
also that who's that? Was she on Ozark? What's her name? Isn't that going to be
No,
Silver Surfer
no,
chick?
yeah, she's on yeah, Ozark. You're right.
Yeah. I can't buy her as a mom. She's a kid. Like to me in my brain, like she's supposed to be the wife.
She
And
she played a
that's
16-year-old on The Americans. That's where I first saw her. You ever watch The Americans?
Nah,
Okay.
I don't like Felicity Huff. I don't like Felicity. It's not Felicity Huffman.
It is not Felicity.
No, but it's
She's
Felicity.
it's Felicity. She's what are you talking about? She's really good in that.
Yeah, I think I also didn't like it because I'm pretty sure I think she was married and then Matthew Reiser married, and I think they just like became a couple and broke up with their people, a la
Well,
Ariana
acting,
Grande.
yeah, acting is hard. Acting when you're with someone that much for those long stretches of time. That's why
Yeah,
Hollywood's always about that. That's why there's probably more open marriages than we realize.
yeah. Um, this is kind of neat because they are. It's funny. Like this is on I think like I forget fandom.com or whatever. But so they literally kind of talk about this. She served for the Golden Crane Society. That's what this is about. So essentially, this is Shadow of the Golden Crane should be in my opinion, it's not going to sell. So we just talked about Amazing Spider-Man number 65 point deaths or whatever.
Right.
You mean to tell me that this miniseries called Shadow of the Golden Crane is going to sell more than Bprd 1957 Shadow of the Golden Crane? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. And it's not as if like, see, I thought when I first saw this, and I was like, oh, is that a new character? Probably, because I don't think Oming would come in. He just came. He just did. I think maybe next week William of Newberry Trade comes out, which was the most recent mini that he did. He does some. He does a good amount of stuff for. He might be like almost Dark Horse exclusive, right? So Mike Avon Oming, New Jersey previous resident.
True. True. Out of Bordentown.
He
I think out of
did.
Bordentown.
Yeah, he did. I'm trying to think. There was a bunch of books he did through, and then Image put out the Omning Bus, which I own too, which is pretty
Oming
fun.
Bus. Yeah.
Omning Bus, and I have the
Um,
art book. I have this. I have no Plan B right here.
he gave us this.
It was this no Plan B, which I believe has a couple Hellboy.
That's
So,
that's how you have kids, Mark.
so he has Murder, the United States Murder Inc., Synergy, Ship of Fools. I remember that was old. Victories, Rapture, Mice Templar. So Mice Templar was through Dark Horse, and then William Newberry, similar to that, was a mouse, I believe, also a mouse or a rat. So I think this, but I figured that when I saw this, I said, oh, okay, he's friendly and has worked a little bit in some of the Hellboy universe. He had a one shot long time ago, before the
Bef-
BPRD ongoing
before the
happened.
ongoing. Yeah, that BBRD miniseries is phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a
So a
lot
lot of great
just
talent in that.
yeah, that Jeff Johns. We talked about the Jeff Johns Scott Collins issue. It makes me
Yeah.
cry with Lobster Johnson, starring Lobster Johnson. But I just figured that if you're going to have a book called Shadow of the Golden Crane, that this is going to be a Mike Avon Oming, almost like a Dutch, almost like a Chap Yep Dutch in a Team Youngblood, right? And
Right.
it's his own character. So I figured that would be, but it is just not. It is not. And then I found an old interview with Chris Roberson talking about this story 7, 8 years ago on multiversity.com about like he wants to eventually do this. So that's cool. So this actually is happening. It does have this curious objects, which is shown up on the last 3 or 4 Hellboy minis there. Next week, because I was looking at next week's releases, next week there is a original 112-page hardcover that Magnolia is writing and drawing. Do you know about this? That is a different universe. It's a non-Hellboy universe. I forget what it's
No.
called. Yeah, I'll have to plop it in. I forget what it's called. But that should be coming out next week. And I was like, oh, I guess I just buy that and put it with my Hellboy stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I guess
Buy
and it's
it.
supposed to be kind of spinning out and he's gonna have stuff that's coming out from this. Because I almost feel like you're reading the other in the Serpent of the Garden of the blah blah blah. Again, I don't even know what the other one's called. I forget, right? Because it's too long. Should be Sir Edward Grey, Witchfinder, blah blah
Right.
blah blah. But it's not. So the curious objects thing is not working for me so far. So far, no.
Curious.
However, so yeah, so this is a real character. It's not an Avon character.
Give me more Alien Guy by Paul Grist.
Yeah, the visitor. Listen, that's
Visitor.
one throwaway page. The visitor, what's it called? Because it's in here. It's and that was really fun.
Yeah.
How and
Yeah.
why he stayed. It
I
was. You
love
know
it.
what that felt like? That felt like the amazing screw on head. It was goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Paul Grist.
Do you read Paul Grist stuff?
Uh,
Like, did
I
you
I had the first one or two Jack Staff. No,
trades
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jack
yeah,
Staff?
yeah.
Because they were in black and white, and then he put them out in color, so I rebought them. I
Okay.
love Jack Staff. I love Jack Staff a lot, and I liked his other books. Kane's the only one I don't think I've read all the way through. I've read some of it. Um, but yeah, Jack Staff's good. Mudman's okay. Did this Aliens look good? I know he did a short story in Eric Larson's next issue project. He did a Silver Streak, who was a huge Golden Age public domain character.
Right,
Huge.
right.
I'm always going to talk about those Eric Larson next issue project books. There's only three of them, and they're just so good to own.
Yeah, I have two. I got to figure out which one I'm missing.
So
So
I
overall,
got I
I
got to
was
find out what Paul Griss is working on now.
nothing.
No, he's one of those. He's one of those. If you take your eyes off comics, all of a sudden it's been years since you've seen a certain creator. You know,
Yeah, I like casual Hellboy here. I especially like this because this just I think it's just erased. Like I like that this is not filled in. So the panel before and then that. I just really I love this drawing. I love it. It's just enough. Pancakes.
pancakes.
Pancakes. So again, good mystery. I'm excited about it. I just don't know marketing wise. I'm just very confused on why it's just not. I just think it's I listen. We all need the victories. If you have to have Amazing Spider-Man number 65 point deaths to sell an extra 30,000 copies, I don't know. I don't know what this would sell. I don't know whose decision it's allowed to not be a BPRD mini.
I don't know,
Or,
Mark. They
or
must know what they're
maybe
talking about.
yeah, or maybe that's just maybe no one's ordering it. You know, we listened to a couple retailers talk the last couple weeks. Like it's like I'm not ordering that. You know, I'm not going to order that. No one's looking for that. A lot of
I
people
don't know.
have converted to trades on the BPRD stuff. They'll wait, and then even more than that, they make pretty nice. There's two Witchfinder omnibuses. There's two Lobster Johnson omnibuses. So even if you miss it, they're going to put out an omnibus later with all the stuff they just did. They usually do three or four trades
Right.
in an omnibus, and they're regular size, not Dark Horse omnibuses aren't the same. Library editions are bigger. Library editions are bigger. The omnibuses is that they have are just regular size. They're just bigger. That's all.
Yeah.
Thicker. There's my cat watching. I was watching The Sixth Sense last night. My cat was watching Sixth Sense.
Oh,
Okay, is
so
this?
your cat saw dead people too.
Yes, apparently. What is this the drawing I'm thinking of?
No, but it's
Close.
one of a thousand.
Yeah. All right.
Treat yourself.
Treat
It's cool though.
yourself.
Okay, this is my last minute addition. Uh,
Whoa. 595.
well, it's print on demand. It is 50
Hmm.
pages. So first off, this book's it's all right. Big Bag Adventures number 31. Gary Carlson, famous for creating Megaton comics, giving early jobs to Larson, Liefeld, Angel Medina, Butch Guice. Uh, did Megaton, did a bunch of other books in the 80s. Came back in the 90s. He co-created Vanguard with Larson, so he's done a bunch of Vanguard with Eric Larson.
Hmm.
He created a universe called Big Bang because he was a big fan of comics, both in the 60s and the 40s. Getting a hold of 40s comics, he grew up on 60s comics, so that's where his heart lies. So he started to do retro comics right around the same time as Alan Moore was doing in 1963. Um, so he did it. He did like 30 issues through Image, then self-published a couple, and then took a break. And then he came back and started doing it through Kablam, Indie Planet. Kablam
Hmm.
is a printer. You could create your own comic. I sound like a commercial. You create your own comic, send it to them. They'll print it, send it to you, no matter how many you want, whatever. But they have a digital side called Indie Planet. So he's done 31 issues, sometimes monthly,
Oh,
sometimes a little bit of a wait, but he's self-published 31 issues so far, and actually more because he's got a Night Watchman miniseries going on. He's done a Doctor Weird special. Um, so you can just order your book and they print it up. It's print on demand. I usually
that's
buy them
signature.
digitally. What's up?
Is that on the book or that's digital? This is a digital drawing or digital print here. Like that just looks like it's like written on.
You're right. It looks like he signed it.
Yeah,
That's a weird choice.
it's fine.
That's fine.
Cool.
That's his signature. Most people put it down on the bottom so you don't think about it. It's a Richard Williams, I think is the name of the penciler.
Uh, I love this. I think this looks awesome.
Yeah, no, he's a regular artist for them. He actually was going to take over. He has a half drawn issue of Youngblood after Jim Toe leaves that never got completed, I guess. So yeah, these he does these books every once in a while, and I've always been enjoying them. I buy them digitally; they only cost $1. So
Oh,
why
nice.
wouldn't
Okay.
you? So $1, download you get a PDF.
Right. Right. Look, that's crisp. This is from the PDF.
Yeah, it's from the PDF.
Right. So crisp. You know what I mean? Like so. Yeah. I mean, it's really clean. It looks like a couple different people.
Yeah, he's
Um.
he's probably slightly older than us, so it's a mixture of 80s and 90s stuff.
Yeah, dude.
The what this is the Supergirl type character, Ultra Girl, ends up going to the future, which is the pantheon of heroes. He signed this pinup too. This was a splash page in the middle of the issue, and they're
Mhm.
all Legion of Superhero archetypes. It's pretty fun stuff.
Yeah. I just like that like the Karate Kid has like a full on Iron Fist like crest on and that and you know what I mean? I don't
No,
care. Like it's
it's
just
fun.
cool. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Again, and yeah, so to me I got, major vibes from of course like Legion, but this is to me I guess this looks closest to me like a Howard Porter because I think like
I can
I,
see that. I can
yeah,
see
I
that.
think especially with like the Cosmic Boy basically, or actually that's like Starman. That's like the Starman costume, you know.
Yeah, it's a good mix. They take all the Legion and make archetypes out of them.
Yeah, and then it's like
He
a Flash
actually
Gordon up top there, kind of, so it's again, it's really nice.
it is fun, and it fits in his universe and his whole mythology of his characters. The characters, and it's the same universe that started off with Megaton. It's like Big Bang, Megaton, they're all connected,
Mhm.
and stuff in Savage Dragons. Some of these characters, like some of his Big Bang characters, have showed up in Dragon and other books. Alan Moore wanted to write a Big Bang story at one point. I don't know if it did happen because Gary Carlson couldn't afford to pay him, or he just never got around to it. But Alan Moore was a fan of it.
So if you could, so time,
So
so
was Alex
the
Ross. There's an Alex Ross cover for issue 0.
is the Big Bang Adventure. So you're saying that there's Big Bang comics,
Right? Through
which is
Image,
how many?
around 30. Well, there's a 4 issue miniseries, 5 you count number 0, that Caliber put out. That's where it started.
Right. Okay.
And then he decided to do it through Image. Image's only rule was nothing modern.
Oh, I see.
So they had to keep it retro.
What about the Night Watchman, which was kind of like was that through Image?
If it 2 issues got published through Caliber, and then once Big Bang started, they published it through Image. But even that's not modern because it was a 1980s take.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a
yeah.
Frank Miller-esque
Frank
Dark
Miller
Knight.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have number. I think that's issue two, where it's like it's him like this. It's Night Watchman, which is a Batman, which is Frank Miller Batman, basically.
Yeah.
And the art's like crazy. The art's like really, really,
It's
really
it's
good.
it's Ben Torres, and it's so stylized. It's so Frank Miller-esque. Ben Torres and Gary Carlson and Chris Ecker, the other co-creator of it all, they're doing a current Night Watchman miniseries that you can get through Indie Planet, and it's Ben Torres. Ben Torres is back. He actually did some Daredevil work. He actually does. I don't know what he does exactly, but I've seen this. He does real advertising, I think, or real art.
Hmm.
But he came back to do this. It doesn't look like his old style. It just looks like a modern style, but it's still good.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
And 2 issues of that are out. So so I dig it. It's
It's on
funny because
Indie
they
Planet.
had yeah, it's on Indie Planet. There's a lot of good stuff on Indie Planet. You should just go there just to look at all the weird stuff. Excuse me. What else was I about to say? Indie Planet. Oh, so they did one modern issue of Big Bang in the Caliber run,
Hmm.
and it was like a cliffhanger ending. So sometimes I like to bug Gary Carlson. I'm like, oh, you got to bring it out. You got to finish that story. You know, I told him it's like the 1963 annual of Big Bang. Actually, last time I even offered it to write it. I'm like, just give me all your plot ideas, and I'll just, me and Milligan and Dan, the 3 of us will do it.
I
I would
love
love,
this.
I
I
would love
like
to finish
this.
that.
The Pantheon P is just like an L, like with the L with the light. Well, it's just it's so Legion, you know.
It's a great take on Legion.
Yeah. Look, we don't have
But
a Legion book. Yeah, we don't have a Legion
no, we
book.
don't have a Legion book.
All in, except for Legion. We're all in,
The,
baby.
the Pantheon of Heroes was there was one big storyline in Big Bang Comics when it was an Image where they brought Savage Dragon into the Big Bang universe. And he's bouncing around through time, but the Pantheon shows up in an issue or two. And it's a good storyline. It's like 3 or 4 issues. And Eric Larson at one point wanted to publish it as a trade, but like go in and put a patch in over all the dragon appearances and have him draw it. So have him draw
Mhm.
dragon, get the book colored, and then put it out as like a new trade. I'm like, yeah, that would be kind of awesome.
But that didn't happen. It fell apart.
It could still happen. I don't know. But these guys aren't getting any younger.
Yeah, I don't know if, I mean, again, the I don't know. I don't know if it would. Well, we'll see. We'll see
We'll
what
see.
happens.
But yeah, I just wanted to add this on to the end, in case
I
our
love it.
Nate,
Yeah, I'm
like I said,
interested in that. If it's $1, man, I'll buy that for $1. Yeah, I need something fresh. I need something fresh and
something
exciting.
it is new. So is that all our books for the week?
That's it.
That's
That is
it.
it. That's it. Awestruck Comics Podcast Reviews Day. Stay tuned for lots of special episodes. We're working on some more specific things coming soon. Yeah, we should have some markdowns coming out, which is more all about my shopping experiences out there in the worlds, different things looking at, good camaraderie, good dealers. That's it for me. I'm going to go take my dog out in the snow. Snow in New Jersey, go Birds. I believe
Yes.
they're here. Birds versus Rams. So Eagles versus Rams. We'll see. See what happens. Go Birds.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
It's gonna be a good game for those watching. Um, who are they going against? The Rams?
Rams, yeah.
Take that, people from LA.
LA
Enjoy
Rams.
our Philly snow.
Yeah, right. Sad. All right, brother.
All right,
Well,
everyone.
let's.
Have a good week. We'll see you next week
All right. Let's
with
see.
a
New, new, brand spanking new
Yeah, I was gonna say with a
news.
new Magnola book and a new I can think Void Rivals. I think that's my big book for next week is Void Rivals.
I hope the big novel books. A lot of times when those things get listed, especially if it's a new original, it sometimes doesn't ship or there's always production problems. So
Also,
hopefully that's the
but
case. I
Dark
would
Horse
really
is
like it.
through Lunar or
I don't know.
people Diamond aren't gonna get it. Yikes. That's a whole
Yikes.
thing. That's a whole thing that we talked about on the news.
Go reference the news.
That's right.
All
All
right,
right,
we'll hook it up.
brother, have a good week. I'll talk to you.
You too. I'll see you.